Thank you for being here at Mr. Super Oz. This video is going out, and this channel only exists because I, Oz, founded Gamble Comics, which first release was Everlasting Survivors, a 68-page graphic novel called All Day Long. Available now. Follow the link in the description that will take you to gamblecomics.com. While there, you can get hats, shirts, posters, much more, but most importantly, the story itself. Coming soon from Gamble Comics, BC Brute. Smackdown on 5803. It comes from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, the Metro Center. So, out first are our brand new Team Extreme Tornado Champions.
Oh, right, I forgot about this.
That being Nunzio, who introduces Canada to their home countrymen of Sylvain, and the Frenchman, who, you know, here in Canada, they're big on some French, Dupree. And so these heels are treated like heroes here in Canada.
Yeah, as it should be.
And so Nunzio states that they are, here comes the hard part, Federation. So it's Italian and French of Federation. And the reason I chose that is because I wanted to have a tie back to the World Wrestling Federation, which is no longer a thing after the corporate merger of World Championship Wrestling and
The World Wrestling Federation.
Correct. And so, again, these guys are getting all of the love from the crowd,
Canadian audience.
the Canadian audience, and the crowd goes ballistic with boos when Eddie Guerrero's music hits, and there isn't the big celebratory car ride like there was last week. Obviously,
Eddie isn't as jovial.
yeah, Eddie's not as jovial, but the thing is, obviously, the guys, they still have their singles titles. So Ray is television champion,
Yep.
Eddie is Intercontinental champion, and Chavo is still cruiserweight champion. But they have a different attitude and demeanor because of, let's say, Eddie's confidence from last week, where he accepted the challenge that he probably shouldn't have.
Nah.
And so the heels that are being treated like faces get attacked by the faces who are being treated like heels. It's literally what...
It's Bizarre World.
That's what I was going to say, what Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler often say about Canada. But this instance of Bizarre World actually is valid and done with intentions. Because a lot of times when they would say that idea, I really feel like that was just them like trying to cover things that just weren't
in their control.
Yes. And so we're leaning into the hometown or the love for
Hometown love, the MJF effect, as I'll call it.
That's a great way to put it. You know, if we were in Long Island, that's the way it would be.
Super babyface MJF.
Yes. And so security and officials, it's too bad I don't know any of them from back in the day. Like nowadays, anytime the officials are out there, you know everybody. It's like, oh, look, it's Kenny Dykstra, it's Jamie Noble, it's
well, that's because there are all these guys that
are
are out here right now.
Exactly, yeah. But back then it's not the same. But you get the idea. They're getting separated. Like I said, the crowd's going crazy, and so Steph pops on the Tron and says, "We're not having this. This is ridiculous. I understand that Eddie, Ray, and Chavo want their rematch for their championships, and we'll have that match tonight in the main event."
Getting down and dirty, I like to hear it.
And so, you know, we cut to break, and it's like everything's calmed down and cleaned up and all that. So when we get back from the chaos, we see that the Regal Count the Threat have made their way out to the ring. Rook Nowinski is very confident in his self because when we see his opponent making his way out to the ring, Jamie Noble is bandaged up from the damage that he took when he challenged for the undisputed title against Brock Lesnar at Backlash.
Okay.
And so while Jamie is capable of delivering
a 9-star classic.
Yes, he's still good at being an excellent wrestler. The thing is that he doesn't have that same pep in his step. He doesn't have the quick execution for all the headbutts, if you will.
Yeah.
Like
he doesn't have that same snap.
Yeah, he's still headstrong, but he's not.
But his head's been softened.
Yeah, he's been taken down a notch.
He's been humbled.
And so, for the first time of his appearance since losing to Brock Lesnar, he once again loses, but this time he loses to Rook Nowinski. I'm not trying to be mean when I say this about Christopher Nowinski, but he's not exactly what I would consider on the same level as a Brock Lesnar. So it's disconcerting for Jamie's progress that he had made for so long.
He's now going back.
He's now going the opposite direction from whence he was for so long, going in the great direction.
Instead of going north, he's now going south.
So, up next, after that devastating loss from Jamie, we see XL Factors, Big Show and A-Train. They're in the back. They're talking about how that A-Train nearly won the television title last week because, delusional heels and all that.
Yeah.
And so because of that, A-Train has the self-confidence since him and Big Show are hyping each other up.
Yeah.
He says, you know what, Big Show, I believe that even though I was this close and failed, you'll be able to defeat Rey Mysterio tonight.
You're the guy.
For the television title. And while you beat Rey for the television title, I'm going to do something else that's going to make a statement here tonight. I'm going to show people that Bill Goldberg is not an unstoppable force.
Not the route I thought he was going.
He's not going to derail this A-Train. I'm going to plow him.
Run him over.
Run him over, exactly. And so after that backstage...
Because he's a train. I get it.
Exactly, yeah. That's why I said he derailed and all that, puns.
Yeah.
So after that backstage segment, we see Matt Capitelli's second package airing. He's a pure white meat babyface. He's rocking this thing up. He's in OVW training. He's got the.
Oh, we're actually seeing the OVW footage.
Yeah. He's got the locks flowing when he's running the ropes. And my point is, I know that this is going to be mildly morbid when I say it, but we have such a limited window to utilize his talents. And the rule is you can't bring somebody in before they've debuted. Well, thankfully, John Hennigan and Matt Capitelli debuted on Heat in the real timeline, and so I can debut Matt Capitelli.
They debuted in Heat like today?
No. It was a few months ago. I was.
So you held on. Okay.
Well, I just messed up the exact reveal, but it's fine because it's better to let him train a few more days.
Yeah,
than
get
to,
his numbers up.
Exactly. But that's why I've been promoting for the last 2 weeks is to emphasize, hey,
this guy's important.
Not just important, but like he's got the look, he's got the talent, he's got the heart. So like, get ready because this kid's coming.
Yeah. How long was he around? Because I actually don't remember.
So here's the sad part.
Yeah.
They kept him under contract. I got it written down, but they kept him under contract, I think, 4 or 5 years after he got the diagnosis.
Yeah.
Because just to be kind, hey,
right.
We're going to keep paying you, even though you can't do
anything.
But yeah, I think he was diagnosed in 2005 with brain cancer, and I don't think they let him go until 2009. Which even when he was let go from WWE, he still worked with OVW on the regular because he was tight with all the guys.
Yeah, like he knew everybody.
Like he was.
But still, 4 years. That's very
unusual.
Events.
Yeah. I'm thinking somebody slid that under the radar.
Well, I mean, JTT was able to stay on for like an additional 5 years. just by not picking up his phone. So
Exactly. So after the hype package airs, let's say we do another break, but when we come back, it is that time for the foretold of television title match where Rey Mysterio
he's jumping off the sky.
And he's defending against the Big Show because it's almost like I have it out for these these guys here. Even though I love them, don't get me wrong. I'm not
saying love A-Train, love Big Show, but for some reason I lose a lot on SmackDown.
Oh, I meant it the other way around. I meant that I love Chavo, Ray, and Eddie, but they keep pulling double duty.
Oh, I mean, you know, freak athletes. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
You know how it is.
And so Ray is accompanied by Eddie and Chavo, and when they try and give Ray their support, if you will, he's really uncomfortable with it.
Yeah.
Because it's like
because he's not a filthy animal anymore.
Correct. And the thing is, like, I know I've said this before, but I always see Ray as the phoenix of the Death Triangle, where he's the good guy, whereas Pac is the clear-cut bad guy.
The Hama Ray.
And then Penta could easily go either way.
Yeah, he was more heel than that, in my opinion.
Well, I don't feel like he was always, like, whereas Pac, I felt like he was always, like...
Pac was heel.
Yeah.
Through and through, without a doubt, no question.
And so,
But yeah, I guess if someone had to be a tweener between that group, yeah, Penta would be the one.
So, while the Guerreros think about getting involved, they don't exactly have much of an opportunity because as the match is going on, Big Show, so he came out by himself. He was that confident. Yeah. A-Train hyped him up.
Well, I mean, it's huge.
But during the match, A-Train comes out. Is he that confident he's going to be Goldberg? Is he coming out early? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out he's not alone. So A-Train has backup, and I think this is the real reason why Chavo and Eddie don't really get involved, because now their attention is diverted to the stage area where Nathan Jones is with A-Train. And so while Eddie and Chavo are distracted in that way, Ray isn't distracted. He does win the match. He retains against Big Show.
Because he's Rey Mysterio, that's what he does.
But
win matches, baby.
It puts a new wrinkle into the whole thing. And so
we have A-Train, Nathan Jones, and Big Show. So they're triple X Factor?
I haven't officially rebranded them that, but there is definitely an option because they are
somehow bigger than they were 5 minutes ago.
Exactly, yes. Well, the crazy thing is the faction before the end of the year is going to get even larger, and
get some weight, huh?
Eventually they will get some W's, but it takes some outside. It's going to take some outside influence.
Oh, of course.
So
that's how it always is with these losers.
So as A-Train and Nathan Jones help get Big Show to his senses, A-Train stays in the ring, and Nathan Jones is just talking up the idea of this partnership with Big Show as they go away. And obviously, Ray, Chavo, and Eddie have to prepare for the main event.
Right.
So while all this is happening, like I said, the babyfaces are leaving while getting booed out of the building, and A-Train is preparing in the ring. We hear Bill Goldberg's music because it's very monumental. I mean, even back in WCW with the banging on the door and then watching him come all the way out.
Yeah, security.
And so
headbutts the wall just for kicks.
Yeah, his entrance with the pyro and the smoke and the, like you said, security.
So cool.
It's actually, I think, more extensive than the match itself. So the match is basically A-Train throws a couple punches, Bill shakes it off, he throws some punches, throws Show off, hits a shoulder tackle, A-Train doesn't go down.
This is a meat match.
Exactly, it's a meat match. And then, we'll have a few more back and forth, some chops and whatnots, but
I'm assuming it breaks down to spear, jackhammer, see you later.
That's exactly the finish, because Bill Goldberg has about that in his repertoire.
Yeah.
And so...
To be fair, he does them very well.
Oh, yeah. I'm not... So, I was having a conversation with, like I said, that potential third man. He was like, my issue with so-and-so was he only does about 5 moves. I'll tell you off screen who so and so is.
Mm.
And I was like, well, clearly you and I have different tastes and perspectives because I know from wrestling training school that me and my friend G, we would obsessively watch Secrets of the Ring with Raven, Scott Levy.
Legend.
His advice was...
I've seen this. I remember this.
Yeah, his advice was get good at like 4 or 5 moves, and the rest of it you can figure out on the fly.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you say this guy's good at 5 moves. I was like, well, it's because that's kind of all you really need to get figured
That's
out.
all you need to do.
Get a few good high spots. I even told him, I was like, think about that Undertaker t-shirt that says like, Soup Bones, Old School, Last Ride, whatever. It was like 4 or 5 moves on it. It's like you could do that with everybody if you thought about it like that.
I mean, shit. Cena literally has a 5 moves of doom that everyone knows.
Oh, exactly.
And he's a 16-time world champion.
Absolutely.
Going for 17.
So
as we sit here.
And so, like I said, Goldberg does what Goldberg does because it's what Goldberg does well. But we're in Canada, and so before we get to the main event, we must have a very pivotal segment because I haven't gone down this route in, I would say, 2 months probably? A few months at least.
What, are we singing the Canadian national anthem?
No, so Lance Storm gets confronted in the back by Booker T, Kevin Nash, and Scott Steiner.
Mm-hmm.
And
Best first generation.
Yes, the best first generation are all looking to convince Lance Storm that he isn't a bishop. He isn't a backseat player. He's not a side
piece
he's not a side character in King William's story. You are
your own man.
In and of yourself, one of the best of this generation.
I see what they did there.
And so, at this point, as the 3 good guys are trying to get their point across, that's when Queen Terry interjects. Rook Nowinski puts his arm around Bishop Storm and it's like, come with me, we gotta party it up, you know.
I got a huge dub.
Exactly.
I'm about to say I don't get too many of these.
Yeah, like I beat a former Intercontinental Champion. I beat a former Cruiserweight Champion. I beat a man who took on Brock Lesnar. I mean, I lost, but you know,
but he was a world title contender.
I'm on the same level as Brock Lesnar. Me and Brock would beat this guy.
I'm about to say it's literally Brock, me, Brock. I mean, what's the difference really?
So Test isn't good at promoing, so he's just stands there and smiles and like gives him a funny look, like, come on.
Honestly, he was really good at that.
Yeah. Test is great at facials. Yeah. And so as all of the rest of the Regal Counter Threat take off with Lance, the King just looks at Booker and says, "This is my kingdom. Get lost." And so it's now main event time, and Ray, Chavo, Eddie, they're taking on Nunzio, Dupree, and Sylvan. And unfortunately, much like how I did with BFG and still do, there is one clear and present, almost always, weak link of Tres Hombres, because...
I love how you gave him his name and you're like, I can't say
I just gave up, yeah. So, 3-man dominance, the weakest link of the group is Chavo Guerrero, who falls to Sylvan.
Dang it, Chavito.
And so, I would not have done this, except for one of the rules of the game is we cannot unbook injuries. And so, I
forgot.
I will be honest, my goal from putting the titles on these guys was to give them a good, 3 to 6 month run with the titles. But the reason they only held them for, 4 days, 5 days?
A week,
whatever it was. They won them at a pay-per-view and lost them on the next show.
Yep.
Was because Chavo gets hurt in 3 weeks, 2 weeks, something like that. No time.
Yep, I did forget about that.
And now, granted, he's back before the end of the year, but I'm not pulling a Brock Lesnar. I'm not going to have a...
Well, we got to keep the titles on him for 9 months and he just won't defend it.
That's exactly. I'm not going to have a 504-day title reign with no defenses. So that's why that they lost the titles last week, and here they did not win them back. And spoiler for anybody paying attention, Chavo's not going to be champion for long.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was SmackDown. Canada was fun. All of the love was given to the people that have ties to the motherland, if you will, or whatever.
Well, I was just one of them. The other one was just French, but it worked out.
Well, I mean Lance too. And,
oh yeah, Lance. Lance would have got some love.
And the reason I had Regal stand up for his boys is because at some point wasn't Canada and England probably fooling around.
Real.
They're probably side piecing it up.
Yeah, just kissing a little bit. They never did anything crazy.
Nothing official.